Hi, friends! Welcome to the Overcomers, a movement and a group of people who have overcome, and they've got a story. That's what the Overcomers is all about. You sharing your story. Why? Because there is power in your story, and people need you. They need your voice. They need your story of hope, faith, and inspiration that where they're at right now is not the end. They need to know if you can overcome, so can they. Today, I'm excited to share with you another story of one such overcomer. So let's go check out who it is. Well, I'm honored to be here today with my friend Ryan Maddings. Ryan, thank you so much for joining with us today on the Overcomers.
I am honored to be here, Jen. Absolutely honored. Thank you.
So, a few things about Ryan, my friend, for those who are listening or might be tuning in today, that if you don't know who Ryan is, you need to know him. So, a few things about him. One, he is actually a military vet and he earned a Purple Heart in his service. If that doesn't tell you everything about him, it should. Second, Ryan was also drowning in $1 million in debt. And then he became debt free. He went from having no job to making 6 figures in corporate America. He's overcome 2 divorces to now attracting the dream woman. And I love that smile popped up on Ryan has gone from bankruptcy with $1 million in debt to owning 3 internet businesses. Now Ryan is a professional personal development coach, teaching other people how to point their lives in the right direction to create massive results. Ryan, you are an overcomer and you're one who doesn't give up. You don't give up on your Yahweh, on others, or yourself. You are a giver. You are honorable and you are so full of joy. Every time I see you, that joy is just all over your face. Your body language, everything screams joy. And you freely give it to everyone that is fortunate to cross paths with you. So I am so excited to have you on today to share your story of how you went from where you used to be to where you're at now. It's an amazing story and people need to hear it. So Ryan, tell us your story.
Well, thank you for that amazing introduction, Jen. I do appreciate it because I do also know that you are an overcomer for sure. And today I want to say happy Father's Day to your father, who is no longer with us. But I just want you to know that that connection with my heart is there. And I totally feel that. So, yeah, I'm not. You are absolutely right on the money. An overcomer for sure. I can definitely. I vibe with that. Totally can vibe with that. I have been through a lot, and it also was just and I spending time with Papa God today. I was writing that down, and I was just talking about it, and I was just going. I was just thanking Him for where I'm at and what I've been through, and how much. I wouldn't say easier, but how much as you get used to opposition in life, it becomes easier to navigate. I wouldn't say the opposition is necessarily easier because it can be very frustrating and it can be very painful. But once you exercise the muscle by letting yourself fail over and over and over again, you start becoming stronger to the point where it does not phase you as much anymore. And then you can get the people that are not healthy in your life out of your life so you can replace them with who needs to be in your life to take you to the next level. So I had one philosophy that I learned from our coach: attack what's attacking you. And I believe most people fail in life is because they think too much. That's and they overcomplicate things. You have to get messy in order to win. You have to be able to fall down to get back up. Because if you try to plan too much over and over and over again. You never take any action, and then you stay broke. And then when trouble does come, because it will come, it knocks you down for even longer. But if you say, you know what, that's hard, that's difficult, I'm gonna go for it anyway, no matter what it takes, you're gonna learn from your mistakes. You're going to learn. So I've made quite a bit of mistakes in life. I could get the t-shirt, the dunce cap, the bulletproof vest, the everything. I've worn it all, and and sometimes I was hard headed, and sometimes I didn't follow directions, but sometimes I just had to bang my head against the wall in order to figure things out, because that's how I learn. I learn by doing, and I learn by going, and I don't learn by just you telling me, because I gotta go find out if your advice is correct or not, if it really works. So sorry, a little tangent there. That's just
It's
how I
okay.
operate. That was what's on my spirit, right? As I have a feeling we live in a society right now, and we're so drowned by fear.
Mm.
And I even caught the fear bug for a couple of months, but it wasn't because of some dumb virus. It was just because of what could happen. Well, you got to have this, and you got to have this, and you got to have this, and the world's going to end, and this is going to end, and that's going to end. And the reality of knowing it is you don't have control over it. You do not have control over tomorrow. And you have to learn to let your Papa God be in control so that you can have peace. Because when you're operating from a place where there's no peace, you're not operating in the Father's will. If there's confusion, I was taught there's a wicked spirit present. And when you're confused and you're running around in fear, you don't want to make decisions from that standpoint. You will spend money, you will go into debt. My story, I went, oh my gosh, let me just go all the way back.
Yeah,
So
take us there,
first,
friend.
I don't know if we have time, but I'll do the best I can.
You're doing great.
I just have a message that needs to be said, and I'm actually very honored to be here, because I got to figure out how to share it, and I don't really know how it looks like, all the details, right? So I need help figuring that out. But I know my message is powerful because I've seen the response and the reaction that people get when they hear my story. So I got to give it. And I've been having to die to myself more and more every day to go, like, you know what? I don't feel like doing certain things, but doesn't matter, because that feeling can change. I can choose how I feel today, and I can choose to suck it up, and I can choose to help somebody regardless if I want to or not, because I've learned that it's not about me. So when I was born, first of all, I was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico. My mom moved me to Texas when I was 3 months old because my dad got a job in Houston. So I'm from the South. I'm from the southeast part of Texas. And currently I live in my grandfather's old house. This thing's like 70 plus years old. But my mom inherited, and so I'm here now, out in the middle of the country in cow pasture land, hay pasture land. Just, me and my dog Charlie chilling and mowing grass every 2 weeks and stuff. But sometimes you have to go through seasons in life where you just have to say, I'm done with the chaos. I'm just gonna go chill for a while because I need to go unplug from the mess, and that's healthy. And so you get to a better place where you can give healthier. So my story, when I back to the point, I was born, kind of cross-eyed. I didn't know what to do with me there. So I wore glasses from when I was like 5 to when I was like 15. My dad then died when I was 5. And my mom really didn't know how to raise me, much like because she didn't know how to be a man, right? I mean, once I figured out and got healing, I understood my mom did the best she could with what she knew. So I have no hard feelings. That doesn't mean I agree with the process, but the process had to happen to bring me to where I'm at. So what happened was I was put on Ritalin and Adderall for 10 years. And I was told and suppressed, that you need to sit down, you need to shut up. You've got ADHD, you've got, hyperactive disorder, you got all this stuff. So we need to calm you down and we need to make you more patient. We need to, you know, numb that out of you. I became a real good student real fast. And so through that process though, 10 years, I ended up going through high school, finally getting, to a place where I wasn't taking medication and letting myself heal. And then I decided that when I was 17, that I needed to make a drastic change in life because what I was doing was not getting me to where I wanted to go. And I really didn't want to go to college. So I made a decision to go talk to the Marine Corps recruiter, and he had my number from day one. He's like, "So do you want to be like in the Navy or do you want to be the best?" I'm like, "Okay, I'm in. All right, whatever, dude." Because I was a little hothead when I was younger. I was a little hot-headed. I was in ROTC. I played the violin for 7 years. I had some accolades. So I wasn't, doing too bad. But there was something missing in my life. And I didn't know what it was. I just knew in my heart that I was designed for more. I was always designed for more. I'm not going to settle for less. That's how I'm wired. And that's what I got to do. I have to have a challenge. If I don't have a challenge, I won't do anything. It's just too easy. It's not fun, right? So I joined the Marine Corps and I went to boot camp and I had a life experience change. I got to that point. Are we still there?
Lost your face. There you are.
Yeah. There's my fiance calling me. I have to call her back. But I went in the Marine Corps and then I went to Iraq in 2004. And I almost got wounded, and I did get wounded in 2004. I saw some things that I won't go into detail here about, but I came this close to about 3 feet worth of shrapnel from a mortar almost in my head. A little bit got me in the head, but got me right here in the back, and I was knocked down. But I was so blessed that God spared my life. And I could never figure it out because I'd walk by every day and go, "God, how did this happen? What?" And it's just, you just wake up. I did the night shift. I woke up and it was like 8 o'clock at night, the sun's going down. You can barely, but I was just like, whoa, going to the bathroom and hello, got a nice wake up call. And then my life definitely changed after that, for sure. And then I ended up coming back and realizing I don't want to be in the military, and I started building businesses, and I started doing all that. I gotta have to call her back. Sorry. Okay. And I actually started this entrepreneurial journey when I was like 20 years old. Other people would go and have fun on Halloween. I was like, I want to go learn how to make money because this is not fun anymore. Mm-hmm. I wanted to join the military because of the right reason. But then I started learning about things and I started going, I just hate being controlled, my future controlled, my life being controlled, everybody telling me what to do. And I was like, no, within 2 years, I'm like, I'm done with this, man. I've tried every other way to make money. I put out flyers till midnight, building network marketing businesses, working with my leader. I was so hungry, dude. Hungry for change, man. And then I got out of the military in 2007 and I was completely broke. I had no job lined up.
Wow.
And I started going into debt for different projects and real estate investments. And I went very much into debt. And this was after I learned from my coach. I decided to do it my way, because my way was better. So I went to over $1 million in debt and other people's money into the real estate market. And I lost every dime. Wow. I lost my place that I lived in. I lost my Mercedes that I couldn't pay for anymore. I lost the girl I was dating at the time. And I was so down. It was like the worst place. But I remembered one thing. I had some military training, and I learned that when it gets tough, you push into the toughness.
Mm.
And I had a God who spared me, and I knew that I had a purpose. So instead of going and blowing my brains out, which is probably what I wanted to do, or most people would have done, I've got hope. And I found this girl named Danny Johnson online. My roommate at the time was in my business. He showed me these CDs called Six Figures in 6 Months, or no, what was that? How to Prospecting Closing Your Way to Millions.
Yeah.
I first got a whiff of that, and then I started listening to that. A week later, there was an event in LA, and I was in San Diego at the time, and I brought 5 people with me. And that
Wow.
was October 2007. So that began a whole nother journey. I learned how to get closer to God. I learned about making money. I learned about people skills. I learned about not being a straight up cocky asshole. I learned that, you know what, if I want to get on this journey, and it doesn't matter where you are, you just go do something, right? I mean, you don't have to know everything, because you're not supposed to pick it all up at once. Other people, or you go get what you need. So I kept going. I started getting results, and I started going, hey, I got a job using these skills. Hey, wait a second. This is working pretty well. I had no job. I have a job now. Okay. I'm making 40, 50,000 a year. Then I made 120,000 a year. I go, wait a second. I'm paying down debt. I had a little bit of debt left over from my bankruptcy and everything like that. And I was able to pay it off, negotiate. And I was like, wait a second, this is actually starting to work. So I ended up making 6 figures in corporate America. Then I got my first divorce, which I didn't like. I mean, that happened after I came home from the military in Iraq, and divorce happened. And then I met some chick, and then I lost my job. And then I got married, was married for 7 years, and I had to figure out, you know what? Something needs to change in me. A lot of people like to point the finger, although I can't really take ownership over what happened with her. I have to change me. So I just understood that I know that if I just pursue and I'm persistent enough, no matter what happens, if I just don't give up, I'm going to figure out how to win, because I was designed to win. You were designed to win. And if we just keep pushing through and we don't give up, we will eventually figure it out. And even if it takes me 20 years to figure out how to be a millionaire, I'd rather go this route from a failure equation than stay in corporate America.
Mhm.
And every time I go in corporate America, my mindset, the last job I had last year, I was trying to teach my manager and their boss how to do the sales process. They did not get it. I was like, we need this, we need this, we need this, we need this, we need this. And then COVID happened, right? And then I got laid off. I worked for 3 weeks and I got laid off. And I said, that's it, I'm done. But I started taking my money a few years ago, 4 or 5, when I was working at Apple. I started taking my money and I started saving it into a wealth account, and I started making investments. And my actual income didn't go down during COVID. I more than tripled my monthly cash flow.
What?
And now I had one online business. Now I have 3 that I've been able to invest in. And now I have 5 streams of passive income.
That's amazing.
So I took that money and I minimized my expenses to the point where I don't really need a lot. So I'm just going to take this money to make it make more money, because I want to have fun in life. And that's the thing about it. People think, wow, you're really driven to make money. I'm really driven to have fun. And I need lots of money in order to have lots of fun.
Yeah.
So, I'm going here, I'm going there. I went to Illinois, I went to Florida 3 weeks ago, San Antonio, spent time with a friend last week, and I'm just there. I'm just preparing to get married and go into the next process from there on. So that's where I'm at.
And so amazing. It's so amazing that you went from where you were a place of no direction and hopelessness and bankruptcy to a place of so much freedom, so much life, so much hope, and so much more. Was there a point when you were going to these conferences where you can identify something that happened that really solidified this relationship with the Father that was like a turning point for you? I know you said it kind of opened up your relationship with him and allowed it to go deeper, but was there a moment where you saw that transition happen?
There's like a bunch of moments. Um, First of all, the one thing I did know is that no matter what, I need to be around people that were positive.
Mm.
And when I started listening to our coach, Danny, I started realizing she just never stopped believing in me. Um, she never did. And she always treated me with love, honor, and respect. Knew that I was jacked up and still loved me through it. And I will tell you, I think the spiritual equippings helped the most. Um, that's what helped me the most. And then the healing and deliverance parts and stuff like that. And then 2018 or 2019, we were in Israel, and that really hit home for me. When we were there, I really hit me home. And then I went back 6 months later with Natan. But
What
it was
happened while
really,
you were there, friends? In Israel?
I don't know. I just had a spiritual connection, let's so to speak. I got to see the Bible come to life. We walked through a lot of the same stuff, and I felt an overwhelming sense of freedom and peace that I hadn't had before. And then I started realizing, with leader of the pack, what my purpose really is as a man and a warrior and a son of God, and still what the world tells us, because they don't understand masculinity anymore. They totally don't. And much to their fault, I mean, a lot of people have been hurt by men, so I can understand where they're coming from. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to be me. And I had to realize I had to be okay with that. And I had to stop changing me for everybody else. And I just accepted that. And my coach told me, I got so upset. I said, "Dang it, coach, I failed." She goes, "You didn't fail. You just learned." Just keep learning.
Yep. It's so beautiful that one person speaking life into you, telling you that they believed in you, literally started changing everything.
Yeah, it did.
And here you are
Because
now in a place where you're doing that for other people. Not only did
absolutely.
it change your life, but you're now being the giver.
Uh-huh.
That's a beautiful thing. That shows the power of what believing in somebody can do. Your beautiful testimony to what can happen just by believing in somebody, accepting them where they're at, encouraging them to keep taking a step forward and to keep moving and keep believing that there is another tomorrow. And your tomorrow is amazing.
Looking forward to it.
So I know a lot of people that are listening to this interview are probably able to relate to a lot of the stuff that you've been through. Maybe they grew up without a fatherly figure. Maybe they have been at a place where they didn't want to go to college. They wanted more out of life and they didn't know what to do either. Maybe they didn't want to work in the normal business world. So for that person that is listening right now and maybe relates to those feelings that you were going through, where you used to be, what would you say to them? What one piece of advice would you tell that person that needs to hear that you believe in them like Coach believed in you?
Don't give up. Stop focusing on the problem and focus on solutions, because your God has more for you. And I know that And here's the big kicker. Really, honestly, you're gonna have to go to work. And this is what really sucked, is that you're gonna have to suck some things up the way you feel in order to get through this shitty part of life. But you have to embrace it, because everybody is allotted a certain amount of tribulation in this life. It is going to happen. It is not the struggle that defines you or what's happening, your challenge or your circumstance. It's how you manage it and how you handle it. So we have to look at every single challenge as a growing opportunity. And there's going to be some stuff that sucks. There's some things that just absolutely suck. But you're just going to have to do some of those sucky things. Because, everybody wants to have the nice car and live the nice life and be a millionaire and go all over the place, but nobody wants to go through the pain. Nobody sees the hours and hours of toil and torment. Nobody sees the hours and days of pouring into people and getting nothing in return and getting treated like crap, even when you have the right heart and right mindset. Nobody sees the amount of hours you put loving somebody else. Nobody sees that part. Nobody sees what you're going to do in secret. They only see the limelight. And people oftentimes, who they are in the limelight is not who they really are behind closed doors. Because that's who really determines your character. The challenge determines your character. Because most people think, well, if I just had a lot of money, life would be easier. That is such bullshit. You know why? Because if you're a dickhead now, you're going to be even a bigger dick when you have money. If you are a piece of crap person now, you're going to be 10 times worse when you have more power and more money. People do not understand that money was never the problem. You were the problem. And even though crap happened to me, right? I had to understand. My coach taught me. I am the common denominator in all my problems. I'm in all of them. So what can I change? Me is the only thing I have power over. I can't change anybody else's stuff. I can't change anybody else's mindset. I can't pay off their debt for them. I can't do the things that they want me to do for them. No, they have to go do the work. And you have to go do the work. But you can value yourself more, understanding that you're worthy of that. You're worthy of that better lifestyle. And it's not necessarily a dollar figure or an amount of stuff. I know some people are motivated by that. That's just not my jam. I don't really care. I have lost. I mean, cool. It's nice to have nice things. I got a nice watch. I got a new iPad. I got a nice kind of car, and I travel. I do a lot of that stuff. All that is nice, but it does not make who you are anymore or any better. Unless you know how to manage who you are. You have to look in the mirror, draw a circle around yourself, and deal with you, because you can't really control anybody else. Oh, trust me, I've tried. I can't control politics. I can't control the economy. I can't control other people's salvation. I can't control what's going to happen tomorrow in our nation or what's going to happen worldwide. I can only control me, my attitude, and what I choose to do right now, today, and how I'm going to make myself better. So if you're struggling right now and you're in that piece, you're in that place in life where you need that, I honestly would say, and definitely get a coach. Get a coach. Because you need you don't think you do, that's exactly what you do need. And this is what I found out about that. Even myself, I don't like being held accountable, but I need it. We still never change. You're always are going to need that accountability. So that's what I would do.
So good. So good. I love that you mentioned the need for a coach, and it made me think of the next question that I have for you. In addition to, you saying, what do I need to own? What needs to change in me? There's so many amazing tools that I know that you've grasped in the years in learning from your coach and getting that accountability. Are there any other specific tools that you felt were so pivotal in your journey that you would recommend to somebody else listening right now of, hey, you need to grab a hold of this or that?
Well, if we're going to go there, um, you may not believe in the creator that I and Jen believe in, but that doesn't mean you can't learn from the principles. Because the only thing that Coach Danny, and when we say coach, we're talking about Danny Johnson,
Yeah.
DannyJohnson.com.
Yes.
All she is doing is using her voice literally to point you back to the Father. Read the Bible. I don't care if you want to hear it or not. Read the thing. You tell me. You be the judge. Search it out. Stop being lost, because people think that they were just magically placed upon earth by coincidence. That's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You have a Father in heaven that loves you and has a plan for your life. And every waking second of every minute of your life, he knows you. And you just got to understand, you're so much more valuable than that. We are so created for a unique purpose. And I'm going to tell you that if you're listening to this, and you need hope, there is hope in the one who loves you through his Messiah. He can bring you to a better place. That doesn't mean life's going to be easier, but here's the deal. We're not supposed to have it easy. That was a lie from the get-go. If life was supposed to be easy, then everybody would be successful. But no, what are most people doing? They're watching movies. They're playing on their phones. They're getting fed the lie that they don't have to go to work. They can get paid to stay at home. They can eat crappy food. They can do whatever. It's okay. Let the government take care of you. Bullshit. That's not the truth. That's not the truth. My friend, life is not going to be easy. And even recently, there's some stuff I got to do. Had some tough conversations I got to have too, because we never stop growing and we never stop learning. So we're always changing.
So good, my friend. I love your continual mindset of what needs to change in me. You're so humble. And I have so much respect for you because of that. And I know you have a huge heart for others and you really care about other people. And I know that there's an organization that you really partner with and that means a lot to you. Can you tell us about that organization?
Yes, absolutely. So for, I don't know, a decade now at least, King's Ransom Foundation, of course. Here's what's so important about that, okay? And I'm just gonna say a lot of things people don't want to hear. I'm just gonna tell them the truth. You have to understand something. Your money is not yours. You are not an owner. You're a governor. And you have to understand that what you have right now is because of the skills that you lack or have gained. If you want to make more money, you have to understand that it's not your money, that there is a creator. Your Father in heaven wants you to do things with your resources to help other people that need it, like freeing slaves from the sex trade, like feeding widows and orphans, helping those in need. That's what King's Ransom Foundation is about. You got to understand this, okay? Your Father in heaven gave you a certain amount of money and he wants you to do something with it. So the first thing I remember when I was taught is, if you can be made ruler over what you have, if you can be trusted with what you have, then you will be made ruler over more. And not once has that principle ever backfired on me. Even when I was broke, making $2,000 a month, I still gave. And it doesn't matter. It does not an amount. It's just the heart condition behind it. People say, well, I only give 10%. No, it's not about that. It's about what's going on in here.
Mm.
Your Father in heaven wants your heart more than he wants your pocketbook. You know why? Because he already owns your pocketbook.
Oh, that's funny.
You have to understand, when you totally surrender yourself to understand that this life is not my own and this life is not your own, and you understand that principle alone, then you can take your trials and turn them into trials.
Yeah.
And you can understand that I can use my pain to help somebody else succeed and win. And when you see somebody hurting and in need and you help them, whatever they do with it, that's not up to you. You're just being an honorable servant and governor and steward of his resources. Now, those people, whatever their heart's going on and whatever they got going on, that's fine. You can't deal with that. But you give into people. You give to people. And you give to the right places. That's why I give to King Francis.
So awesome, friend. And that's who you are now. You are a good steward, not only of
Yes,
your
ma'am.
finances, but of your heart, of your relationships, how you love other people, and how you love your Father. You are a
Amen.
good steward of your time, of your life, of your heart, of everything. And now you're going to be able to show other people how. You're going to be able to
Yes.
show people how they can go from where you used to be and maybe where they are right now to where you are now. So thank you
Hallelujah.
so much for your courage to share your journey with us. Thank you for your transparency and your vulnerability. Thank you for believing that the best is still to come for that person that is out there that needs it more than anything. You have delivered that today. Your journey has delivered that today because you were willing and you dared to ask that question, what needs to change in me? And you were willing to do it. You were willing to take action. And now you are inspiring people, my friend. You are inspiring people with
Yes.
every decision, with every action. And every time I see you anywhere, whether it's on social media or it's in person, you are so good at authenticity and at just loving on people. So I'm honored to be your friend, and just thank you for your love for everybody.
Thank you.
For your
Thank
honor
you.
for those who have been in the service. Thank you for your honor and how you even handle me as someone who no longer has a father. You are so giving and so kind and so honorable in that. And I so appreciate your heart, friend. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that.
Thank you. I received that. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you for joining with us today. It was amazing to have you.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I think it's going to help a lot of people. Wow. Wasn't that powerful? Do you have an overcomer story? Do you know someone who needs to hear this message? Please share this video on your social platforms and tag us so we know who you are. Stay tuned as we share more overcomer stories in the weeks ahead. We're looking for you. We're looking for the overcomers. Join us. Let's come together as the overcomers. Start sharing your story. We have multiple ways you can start getting involved and repping the movement, repping your story of what he has done in your life. For example, we've got journals. You can start writing your story down. Start getting it out of your head and on paper. We've got bracelets. Start repping that we're a group that are coming together to inspire people. We've got t-shirts and sweatshirts to not only remind yourself that you're filled with gold, but everybody around you, that your story is powerful. And don't forget, you can pick up a copy of Finding His Voice on Amazon. An overcomer's journey from suicide to success. An overcomer's journey which launched this very movement. And last but not least, if you want to learn how to overcome, visit www.dannyjohnson.com. That's my coach, and that's where I learned how to overcome. Thank you so much for joining with us today. We believe in you, and we believe in the power of story. We believe in your story.